Alrighty, so today we're going to be having a look at doing all of this stat mode stuff again, but this time dealing with ranged tables. And so the big issue with ranged tables is that first of all, I can jump into stat mode. Remember, I always want one var, because we've only got one variable. And I can put in my frequency, but I can't type in 21 to 30 because it'll just assume that means 21 minus 30, which is -9. And that's not what that means. So we need to come up with a number that's going to represent this group here. So I can put it in the calculator. So it says members of a running club keep track of the distance to the nearest whole kilometer covered in training. Over the course of the week, the frequency table summarizes the data collected. Calculate the estimated mean and the standard deviation for the club. So it's estimated because, again, we don't have the raw data. Once it's put into a grouped frequency table, we've lost some data. So we need to basically average out these numbers. So if I go 21 plus 30, and then that's going to give me 51. And then if I take 51 and divide it by 2, that's going to give me 25.5. So instead of this, I'm going to use as it's centered is going to be 25.5. Let me construct a new table. So you can see I've just created a quick table, and I've got my x midpoint, which is going to be the midpoint for each of these groups, and then I've just copied the frequencies, the number of runners, down into the second column. So because I've averaged the first one, it's going to be 25.5 is going to be the x midpoint. It's halfway between 21 and 30. So let's repeat it again, but this time for 31 and 40. What's halfway between 31 and 40? So 31 plus 40, well, that's equal to 71, and 71 divided by 2 is equal to 35.5. And at this point, you probably noticed there's a pattern. We're going to guess that the next one's 45.5. Now, if you're not convinced by the pattern, always good to do one more test. So 41 plus 50, and then 91 divided by 2. Oh, look, it's 45.5. Okay, so you can see that because the numbers are going up nicely, so shall my table. So now that I've got a proper table, I can now just enter it into my calculator. I'll just show you the beginning of this. So 25.5, 35.5, 45.5, so on and so forth. And then just make sure you also go into your frequencies and make sure you go 3, 5, 4, 2, 1, 1. So just make sure that they all match up. Anyway, I'll finish this up. Really important now that we do just check over our data, make sure it's all right. 3, 5, 4, 2, 1, 1 for my frequencies, and that all of my midpoints are looking good. Alrighty, now I can clear the screen, Shift 1. Now, since I'm looking for standard deviation and mean, both of those are going to be found in for var. 2 with the x with the hat. So there's my mean is 43. So I can put down mean equals 43. And because it says standard deviation, I'm going to do both standard deviations just to be safe. So let's go Shift 1, 4. Let's get population first. So 3. So population standard is going to be equal to 13.92, rounding to 2 decimal places. And then sample standard deviation is going to be equal to, and let's work that one out. So Shift 1, 4, and we're going to 4, and we can go enter, and that's going to give us 14.38 after rounding. Alrighty, and so that's how we can quickly go through and use our calculator. The big part is that whenever you're given ranges, you are going to have to find the midpoint of those ranges to then calculate it. And you just do it by adding the two numbers together and then dividing by 2. Alrighty, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.